Hi, this is me, MADDOX, and I'm at the Earthlodge right now. And I finished just spreading around some hay over bunny poop in or fertilizer, whichever one you want to call it.
The Earthlodge Center for Transformation. Let's start at the beginning. So technically the beginning of this was way back when you were a child and your grandmother saw that you were having some anger issues. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Oh, yes, I still remember that like it was yesterday. As African Americans, we have took on from the enslavement period the whipping of our children to silence them and as a way to bring order and structure. And my grandmother was able to break that cycle. And she used nature to do that. And she would make me get a shovel and a hole and dig a hole in the earth and sit in it. And she'd come back after 10 minutes and she'd look and I'd still be sitting there with my lips poked out and arms crossed and she'd, oh, you're not ready. So after about the third or fourth time when she'd come back and I was sobbing, that meant because the earth characteristic is to absorb. It absorbs everything we put into the body. And so it absorbed the anger from my body. And so after sitting and able to come out with more clarity, more capacity to even have a conversation, capacity to even know why I was angry. And then she would just welcome me with open arms. So we believe here at the Earthlodge, and we've recreated this pit, a huge hole in the earth where we can hold up to, it'll be a tight squeeze, and we could probably get up to 50 people in there, where we sit and allow the earth to literally clean us off energetically. And there's a fire in the center, and we speak into the fire what we want to release. Okay. So we've turned it up a notch, but just the earth itself, the qualities that it has to absorb and regenerate and rebirth. And we do this with the energy of the full moon because the full moon is all about rebirth.
And this is a very special situation because right now we have volunteers who are here and we are blessing the earth, correct? So tell me what goes into that.
What goes into that is that we live in a very carbon-rich environment, and because we live along the 710 freeway, we've got constant carbon coming over. So enriching the soil, it takes a compost solution that goes into the soil and activates the natural ingredients for the soil to become moist, soft, and give us more oxygen, protect us in a way that humans need so that we don't breathe in carbon, and also helps us to grow better food.
The blessing was done by volunteers from the Soil Sponge Collective. The collective takes on various projects to regenerate soil and restore a village-minded consciousness. Carrie Kim explains how the blessing works.
Well, we always start with the indigenous peoples. As we know, it's very important to honor the original stewards of the land. And so we always honor whoever has been on the land stewarding it for millennia. And on this particular lands, it would be the Tongva. So we were honoring the Tongva, and we had Tina Calderon, who is part of the Soil Sponge Collective, give a blessing as she couldn't be here today. So she was blessing and giving us insights and intentions for the land and how to connect with the land and how to remember the ancestors.
And why is it important to do that?
Because it's very easy to think that humans of a particular place come first, but we have to realize that actually Mother Nature comes first. And it's important that we reconnect, given the times that we live in. We must reconnect with nature for humanity to survive.
Tell me how you got involved with Earthlodge and what it means to you to be involved.
And Jackie, I was burnt out. There was something missing. I was out of balance. Now, right out of college, I had joined an organization that was doing activism in South Central, working the picket line, fighting for justice. But it wasn't enough. After working 12, 14 hours, 16 hours for the people and to better my community, I needed to have that replenishment, that wellness sewn back. And a friend of mine who's also a fellow activist, Tunde is also here, a board member doing programming. She invited me here to the Earthlodge because a lot of us were activists who were coming here being fed by the spirituality and the Southern-based indigenous practices that were coming forth here.
This is a nonprofit organization. Yes. How are you funding this right now?
Well, it was out of pocket for almost 30 years, and then we just could not sustain it. And it was run on the love donations and hands and service that people bought. So we love to have donations because it helps us to go deeper into our teachings, our philosophy around connecting with the earth. And so we welcome donations. We welcome large donations.
Right.
We welcome donations of all size because it's a place for our community to grow. There have been children that have come here and grown up and gone out into the world, and they've gone some of them have gone into mainstream, but they still maintain their connection with the earth.
And one young member has some advice for the rest of us.
What humans need to do to make the earth a better place is compost, throw away their trash, drink more water, and use bikes.
Well said. For Hilo, I'm Jackie Ray.